Nation.
SMD Law is the official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Check them out on the interwebs at smdalaw.com or at 866-529-3537. No matter where you are in the state of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula, it doesn't matter. They have an office near you. So whether you need to send a letter to an annoying neighbor, or you're a criminal and you need defense, maybe you just have problems with elder law, check them out, smdalaw.com today. The official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Call them first. Then you act.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back, Spartan Nation. We now bring in the one and the only, for the good, the bad, and the ugly, the man, the legend, the way of life, the icon, a legendary State of Michigan prep high school football and basketball coach. This guy could be the ladies' man, but instead he found the female equivalent of him. Becky, the woman who sashays into every room walking 3 inches above the ground. The most gorgeous woman in the world that every man wants to be with, but they fear the great Coach Chuck Grenier. Let's welcome him in. Coach, how are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
Yeah, I had to give Becky some love today. Give me a break.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
You need to tell her. I showed her a little love, okay?
I will.
All right. Coach got a lot to talk about. If Tom Izzo were to take the Hauser brothers and transfer, one of two things would have to happen. Either a player would have to politely be asked to transfer, or one of them would have to come in and pay their own way till the scholarship became available. I'm just curious. Either way, it's a win-win for Michigan State, but Tom Izzo's not the kind of guy to go put a boot in someone's ass. Agree or disagree?
I agree with that totally. If you've recruited somebody and you wanted them to come into your system and you expect them and they give the okay and they sign the scholarship and they come in, I can't. It's hard for me to say or think that you would push somebody out purposely just to get another person in. So I would probably be looking towards the idea of the one scholarship that's available, give that to one of the brothers, and they would pay, I think, just a half a semester or a half a year scholarship, and then the scholarships would be available following that. I think that's the best way to go.
Agree. Coach, I want to stay on basketball for just a couple more minutes, and then we're going to transition over to football. We're talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly with Spartan Sports. I'm curious for you, Coach. So much time goes into recruiting. You spend so much time with guys. Harlan Beverly, it's a kid that they turned over every rock and found him. He had zero interest till Michigan State did. Is recruiting ruining the game of college basketball, or is it just adding to the drama? Is it making it why we love it so much?
Well, no, I don't think it's ruining college basketball. I think there are other elements that are probably ruining college basketball and amateur athletics. That has always been a factor. If you have an athletic program, you're always trying to bring in the best talent you can. Kids out there that are playing want a college education. They want help. Some need a lot of help getting into college financially. So I don't think it's ruining anything. I think there are other elements out there that are probably more devastating or ruining to the college basketball programs.
I 100% agree with you. I'm so glad you had that answer because I don't think it is. I think it's making it more exciting. Coach, along those lines, though, the trial is going on that I believe is going to change college basketball. I think it needs to be rocked. But Christian Dawkins comes right out and says what we've all known. You may remember when this whole controversy started, I wrote an article, Tom Izzo stands strong. And, that no matter what, Michigan State was not going to pay. I mean, I think this has gone as good as you could hope if you're a Michigan State, and not good if you're a school like Duke, who finally their name is starting to get talked about in nefarious ways. And, oh, by the way, it should be, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that thing about money, and money corrupts. And it gets to the point where some programs, because college football, college basketball basically fund college athletics. They're the big money producers, the fundraisers, the alumni donations, things along that line. And the bottom line, Al Davis, again, just win big. So you have to win. In order to win, there's going to be players out there, going to be future recruits that are going to be big assets to your program. And you have to have these people come in, these really good ball players in football, basketball, whatever you're looking at there. And that is going to fund the program through alumni donations, costs, arena, filling up the seats with arena, filling up stadiums, covering those seats up with people that are going to pay those high prices. And in order to do that, if you don't win, then you're going to lose your job as a coach, and the university is not going to get the money. So the shady part of college athletics is to get somebody to come in, and if they won't come in, then you dangle the green in front of them, and then they accept that green, and then everything becomes tainted at that point.
Now let's turn our attention to football. Coach, you saw my report in my answering people's Michigan State football and basketball questions from the person that wanted to know if perhaps last year's season for football was tough because Mark Hollis was gone and D'Antonio and Hollis were close. Were you shocked to read my report when I said they were not close? In fact, I would not have even called it a friendship by the time Hollis left. Did that surprise you?
No, not at all. Hollis was an extremely good administrator. And when you are an extremely good administrator, you have to walk that line between the cordial friendship and the administrator friendship. And you can't be a buddy in that situation. You have to draw the line and say, this is the direction that we're going, and this is what I think. And, if you have great friends in those high places, and, you're talking about some really strong, powerful individual personalities like an Izzo or like a D'Antonio and so on, that are strong leaders in their field, you've got to be able to separate that and be an administrator, which is a tough job.
I want to stay on talking about football for a minute. Coach, do you believe that this season is an absolute legacy defining season for Mark D'Antonio, or has he done so much it really doesn't matter what happens this year?
No, I don't believe that he's done so much it doesn't matter. You always want to go. I think when Duffy Doherty was here, he did so many great things. His last couple of years, when he was here, he did not leave, I don't believe, on a really good note. And I think it's really imperative that this season is a great season, not a good season. I believe this is going to be a great season because the last couple of years we've had this up and down situation with wins and losses. And I think it's imperative for your for Mark D'Antonio to leave with his face on that Mount Rushmore mountainside of being one of the great coaches. I think it's imperative that he wins this year, wins easily, because you're only gauged. What is the great politician from Louisiana? What have you done? His phrase was, "What have you done for me lately?" So when he leaves, this is what people are going to remember, what you did at the end. I know he did a great job at Michigan State and won and brought the program to national prominence, but you got to win. That's the bottom line.
Let me ask you this question, Coach. You said he has to have a great season. I agree with you, by the way. What is your definition of a great season?
I think a great season is double digits no matter what. You've got to win at least 10 games. You've got to be dominant. You can't be in one of those games where you're running 6-3 or 7-4. You can't do that. You've got to be out there. You got to be dominating on the field. You got to win. You got to beat your rivals. You got to challenge for a championship. You got to get a championship maybe. But that's going to be a great season. It's going to be a tough one to do that, but you've got a championship defense this year, and you've got the players. You've got the talent on offense. And you got to put those things together, and you've got to play creatively on offense, and you've got to win. That's all there is to it.
Coach, so if I understood you correctly, he's got to get to double-digit wins for this to be a successful season.
To be a great season. Successful is, not you can be successful at 9 wins, 8 wins, that kind of thing. But that's a good season. But a great season, you're in the double digits and you're challenging for the championship. That's a great season.
What do you predict right now will be their record, very quickly?
I think they can get 10 wins. I do. I really do think they can get 10 wins. I know they've got the people on the outside at the receivers. I think the offensive line is going to be much improved over the course from last year to this year. I thought in the spring game they looked like they knew what they were doing much better. The whole thing, and again, it comes down to who's the best ball player on the offensive side is your quarterback. The quarterback's got to have a good year. That's what it is. And if you can throw the ball, if you can change plays at the line of scrimmage and give your team a chance to win, that's going to be the pivotal point this year. Again, it's going to be the quarterback position.
Coach, tell your beautiful wife, Becky, I said hi. Stay on the line. I want to talk to you real quick. You're listening to Spartan Nation. Right. This has been the good, the bad, and the ugly with Michigan State Spartan Athletics.